I just feel like it's a roll with it moment. All right. Yeah, we're live. So, welcome everybody to the Give It Podcast, podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. I'm your host, the most Will Buchanan, of course, the man to my left, your right, depending on how your screen is flipped. What do you have for us today, sir?
My name is Joe Tonello, and my multimodal phasing array is fully interlaced with the Positonic Grad Matrix so we can get through this coffee-based nebula.
I'm mad because I know where you got. I know where you got that from. Oh, that being said, guys, we do have a special guest. This man needs. I keep on saying this man needs no introduction, but I feel like I'm gonna have to do. I feel like he needs to. Have
You're
it.
literally about to introduce him, so he needs an introduction.
Yes, but this man, this man, if you look at him, he is known by a man of many names. He is known as we call him the Sun Man. He, of course, when he first came out, was seen as the Black He-Man. But I think after this week, we can call him Hawkman. I think we can call him Hawkman after this week. So with that being said, we do want to welcome back Hellspawn Complex, Hellspawn _ cosplays to the Give It Podcast. How are you this evening, sir?
I am fine. It's been a long week. It has been a very eventful week, but yes, I'm fine. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh, you are certainly always most welcome back here. The reason why I mess with Hellspawn because number one, I live vicariously through this man. Because his workouts make me want to work out more. And number two, what he has done, not only with cosplays, but just for the culture, just for extending out representation and making representation matters. And just first and foremost, he got to literally stand right next to Rock and Aldous Hodge and pretty much ask this man, "We need you." And he goes, "Cool, I got you." How many folks can say that?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That to me that's a flex. I know you're very humble, but that's a major flex on that you're able to that your cosplay has been able to take you that far.
So okay, the plan was to go to New York. Oh, okay. So Smoke had hit me up last Friday. He said, "Hey, my Black Adam suit came in, and I just got the link to get these WB tickets. From WB to get these tickets for the premiere. So it's like we can run to New York and see what we can make happen." And I was like, you know what? I'm going to say yes. So I said yes, and we plotted it out. I got parking. I paid for parking early. That was close to the to Times Square, and I left my house at 2:00. I got to him about say 4:40 in Philadelphia, and then we got to New York around 7:00, and it was he was talking about he was nervous about making things happen, and I had to tell him, I was like, we can't. I was like, lower your expectations, because we can get there and we could just be shut out. Who knows? We're coming to enjoy ourselves. We're coming to do as much business as possible, but lower the expectations so that you'll never be disappointed with what we were able to accomplish up here. Okay. And he's like, saying that's cool. I'm glad you with that kind of mentality, because I was really much of the like just go with the flow type deal. And because I had the parking garage would not allow us to park before 8 a.m. because that was my reserved time, was 8 to midnight. So I had to find some place just to sit. Right. I park at this one place, sit. I go to the bathroom, got to go to, got to walk in the middle of Times Square to the McDonald's in that area. And I walk past the Good Morning America, like area where they've got like the big window, and you see Michael Strahan, and he's like huge. Like I didn't realize he was as big as he is, like 6'7", 6'8". And I was like, okay, it's cool. And they got a whole bunch of people in front of the thing, because I guess they know that The Rock's supposed to be on that morning. But the thing is, I guess they don't tell anybody where they're going to have the interview. They just assume that it's going to be at the GMA studio. So I come back to my truck. Smoke, goes and he, use the restroom, whatever. And he comes back and he's still trying to like get in the mindset of just going with the flow. And I was like, see, you're so focused with trying to make something happen that you're just not allowing things to happen. Because look who just walked out that building. He looked over and it was Dwayne. Because apparently I had parked right across the street from his hotel room. And so he came down, and then Michael Strahan comes right around the corner, and they have the interview there, as opposed to the Good Morning America studio, because they didn't want him to get mobbed or whatever. So I told him before they get started, it's like, you better go have your moment. And and Smoke got out the truck, and he pulled out his phone, and
hang on. I can find that, because the fact that you got that was the one thing I saw where I was like, what timing do you have to where you pull up, look to your right, and you can literally see the Rock coming up? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said that was how I knew the day was going to be okay. I don't know.
That's timing and a half. And I gotta get to that, because when I saw that, I was like, because when I first saw on your Facebook, I said, ain't no way. And yes, I'm going to use language on this one. I was like, ain't no way in hell his timing is that goddamn good. It's like, when I tell you, it's like, he's like, hey man, you kind of, and I can hear you sitting there talking to him, like, hey man, you might want to go. Opportunity's knocking. And the fact that he hopped out and was able to get that, but I mean, yeah, that is absolutely crazy that you're able to have that conversation, not only with him, but I have to show this one, because this is still my favorite out of everything that you did that weekend. This by far is still my favorite. That you literally.
What I tell you? How you doing, man? I see them ways, man. Oh, what is?
Bruh, at that moment, I would be like, okay, we good. We out. Mission accomplished. We out.
I had one more. I had one more flash drive in my hand to pass out. And but I went there with three. I went there with three flash drives. And what they contain is a pitch deck to propose throwing a party / networking event to attract investors for Black-owned conventions, because and then it's going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, because the idea is there are people out there that have money, that want to invest in something, that want to put in on something that's going to change not just the landscape of a certain type of area or just but the culture itself. And when you go to San Diego Comic-Con, they do 130,000 people a day, right? And the most expensive booth fee that I have seen was $18,000. So just imagine if you're able to build a convention to the heights of San Diego, or at least Baltimore Comic-Con, or maybe even New York Comic-Con, and it'd be a Black-owned entity. Not only would you be serving the culture, but you'd be serving the city, because San Diego shuts down for 4 days for nothing but San Diego Comic-Con attendees. Right. The hotel industry is given a boon. The restaurant industry is given a boon. And they count on that kind of tourism money, for extra revenue. So why can't that go to Oakland for Afro Comic Con? Why can't that go to Austin, Texas for DreamCon? Why can't that go to Atlantic City for J1 Con? Philadelphia for Black Label Comic Con. I mean, and then BlurredCon does pretty well, but it can always do better. It's just, why not have people who do not understand the culture of geeks see the benefit and see the pinnacle of what, because like honestly, SDCC is Mecca.
Yeah, yeah.
You go, you see it's the pinnacle of what a comic book convention can be. If we can have people invest in that, then not only are you helping the culture, the kids, but you're helping the city, and then you're helping your pockets, because that return on investment is going to be ridiculous.
Oh, definitely. Oh, by a landslide. I mean, you already see what BlurCon's pulling in. You already see with I want to say, forgive me, HBCU Con, if I get this wrong. I think that's how y'all have it. I think that. Oh, you're shaking your head. I don't go.
They don't make no money. That was not a.
Well, we still want to at least put y'all. We still want to put y'all out there. At least.
I mean, that was a cookout. That wasn't a convention. So
okay, fair enough.
But see, the ones that I listed off are well-established entities that have been able to not only complete several conventions but be self-sustaining. And if we can not only because they've also turned a profit. So I can't sit here and say certain conventions or certain gatherings are a focus of mine when it comes to this endeavor. It needs to have been making money so that they can have something to pitch to these investors, so that these investors aren't looking like, aren't going to tell them, well, I'm gonna give you another 5 years, baby, before you get your grown pants on. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to put them in that position.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's the Deion Sanders approach. I get it. I mean, you see what he's doing over at Jackson State, and he's completely changing the entire culture over there. So I get where you're coming from with that. But I also have to play this, though, because I did find the clip. And here's the one thing. I do not believe in coincidences, but I do believe in timing. And if this was a D&D game, you rolled a +20 with this, because let me set this up for all y'all. This is where Hellspawn's talking about, where him and his friend. Now, keep in mind, I haven't played the video yet. They're in the car. As this video plays, when I say this was timing, this was effing timing.
You feeling good, Eric? Dude. Let me tell you something. It's coming of the perfect storm. The perfect storm. I'm telling you right now, you couldn't ask for anything better than that. Wait till you see tonight what we got cooking. Oh my gosh, it's only just begun. It's only just begun. You feeling good, Eric? Dude.
I mean, for the simple fact of the matter, like you said, you guys were just rolling. You look to your right, and The Rock is just casually having an interview across the street. Now, of course, in his case, I didn't show the one where he hopped out, because I don't blame him. I would have hopped out too. I mean, when he hopped out, I was like, oh, he didn't say nothing but a word, because that's exactly what he did. He hopped all the way out. I mean, full on. Oh, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna try.
I thought that was his moment. Like
I'm staying in the truck because it's I'm in a no standing zone.
I don't blame you, because New York don't be playing about their traffic citations.
Dude, we saw a Range Rover they had 3 or 4 tickets while we were standing out there, and then got a boot on it within the next 40 minutes.
Yep. They quick. Man. They are quick, and they do not play. But yeah, I had to show that because, number one, I was extremely proud of what you two guys did. I mean, what you were able to do, the fact that y'all were able to interact with the crowd, that you were seeing. I think Aldous Hodge put you on his I think he put you on his social media.
So the thing is, when I first debuted the Hawkman suit, it got his attention. He shared my reel to his story, and I ran into him by chance at San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was leaving a Paramount Plus party, and you know, I just happened to look to my left, and he was just chilling, like t-shirt, ball cap, whatever, just hanging out. And so I was like, yo, I think I know you. And he's like, I think I know you too. And you know, that's when I pulled out that video. It was like, you know, two Hawkmen just standing together, whatever. And you know, when I asked him, I was like, you know how big my wingspan is, and he was like, you know how big my wings are, I'm like, as if it was like a dick measuring contest. And that's why he said what he said. It's like, I see your wingspan, you know, because he remembered everything.
Yeah.
But you know, I also know that he's a co-founder of a concept studio that does, you know, like a little bit of geeky stuff. So when I said to him was that Black-owned comic book conventions could use your help, that's what he was like, oh, I'm with it, you know. And I had the plan to give him a flash drive with the information on it. I wanted to talk to Dwayne, but I couldn't because he never came over to me. And then I just happened to see RDC World of DreamCon. He was there, and I haven't been able to get through to their email system or their DMs or whatever. So the fact that I was able to give him a flash drive about his own convention, you know, was fortuitous. So I'm just glad I brought 3 as opposed to just bringing like 2 that I was going to give it to.
Well, that's still cool though. So before we get to the topics, I do gotta say this because number one, first off, again, I live vicariously through you. Number 2, you're the only cosplayer I know that has an action figure that was done that somebody looked at your cosplay and said they wanted to make an action figure out of you. And I know the last time
this one still works. But see, this one my son can play with because like the head is magnetic, right?
Yeah.
Right. This one that you're about to show, that one is not. You can't play with that one. He told this guy Benjamin. Benjamin's French, and it's coming like he's using Google Translator when he talks to me. But he basically let me know that this is a collector's item. This is not a toy. So
nice.
Yeah. And the reason why it took him over a year to figure out how to make this work is because he couldn't get the texture of her hair right. I was like, that's the most like on the nose thing in the world. Like, that's right. All right. Wait, I mean, he took the time though.
Oh, that almost took me out for a second. I mean, yeah, I can see he did get it right. I mean, I'm sorry, just the way you phrased that took me out for a second. But no, for it to be to have a collector's item figurine, dude, there is. I mean, again, I know you're really not a hang your head up on this. You know, that's a rap situation. The fact that you are just getting accolades after accolades after accolades, dude, I just have to congratulate you on that. Because number one, how many cosplayers could sit there and say that they have number one, a Funko Pop, number 2, a collector's edition after them, and who can sit there and say that they met Hawkman, and all within the span of 3 weeks?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's effing impressive by any standard. That's effing impressive. But again, I just want to give you your time to shine on that, man. Because again, I do believe in Black excellence. I do believe in celebrating our people. I do believe that giving your time to shine, things of that nature. And I know we talked about Black Adam. You didn't really get to see it. Plus, The Rock kind of already spoiled what we already know about the end scene, which apparently, if you've been on social media, you can't avoid it. Some people have actually uploaded the cutscene. They've already. If you go to TikTok or Instagram, there's some pretty bad cam scenes of it. But yeah, they put it out there for the world to see. But before we move on to the rest of the topics, I was going to ask this. Oh, actually, Joe, what do we have on the docket first that we were going to talk about?
I was told this entire thing was going to be Star Trek.
Well, we can start there. We can start there.
I was told like this whole podcast is going to be nothing but Trek.
Well, it started out that way. It started out that way, and then we decided to go off script. That's completely fine. But I mean, that's actually how our last podcast ended, was the fact that we got on Star Trek and it just went completely from that point. I will say this because I did catch up on Lower Decks. I will say this: Lower Decks is funny as hell. Really do like the direction of it. Can't really argue there were so many Easter eggs in every episode. But Hellspawn, because you're the guest, have you had a chance to watch Lower Decks?
No, I have not. Let's see. I watched, I think, maybe like the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then I got pulled away to something else, and I've been consistent with Rings of Power, She-Hulk, Andor, One Piece, My Hero Academia, and I think if I depending upon how I feel tonight, I might start Chainsaw Man. Yeah, I don't know. Like I've been watching the consistent like stuff, you know. And now that the Rookie is back, I don't know if I like Feds so much. I mean, I don't know.
It grows on you. I will say this: after watching the last 2 episodes of the Feds, it grows on you. I mean, Niecy Nash can't do no wrong, in my opinion, but that's a whole other story.
That's the thing. Like, I didn't watch the Dahmer series, you know, for reasons, but I heard that she was amazing in that. And then I'm watching Feds. I'm like, how do you go from that to that within the?
I couldn't watch Dahmer. I'm sorry. My fiance, she is a serial killer, murder mystery nut, and she could watch it no problem. I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to really watch something about a cannibal, but you know that's on you. But no, just give the Rookie Feds a shot. One Piece, that's my white whale. I am somewhere in the 900s and still trying to catch up on that.
Oh, really?
Yes. I am still trying to catch. I have a goal to catch up on One Piece as soon as humanly possible. But yeah, I'm still in the 900s. But so far, it is.
Don't
good.
Stress it. Just enjoy. I mean, you're in Wano. That's all that matters.
Don't get me wrong. I'm loving the arc. I'm I'm watching right now. It's just like you said. I mean, Chainsaw Man. I will ask you the next time when you have a chance to watch it, what your opinions of it. Because me and Joe have seen it. Joe, I know we talked about it kind of off the rec before we went live, but what did you think of Chainsaw Man again?
It's this generation's Guyver.
Yeah, it's kind of on the gory Mappa side. I mean,
the first episode kind of was weird because it like wrapped up the dude's entire plot right there, and then introduced secondary characters like right at the last moment, which I kind of thought was weird. I watched at that point. I just watched it went back and rewatched it purely for the animation. The Studio Mappa was really good. The Yakuza thing was weird because those guys were such low totem pole in the Yakuza. Like they're like a lower branch of a lower branch of a lower branch because none of those dudes are dressed well enough to be ordering and giving money out.
The suits weren't clean enough. The suits were. I will agree with that. It was kind of a little off-putting, but honestly, the first episode, I didn't mind it because again, every first episode is going to be weird. Every first episode,
they kept shooting the dog, and I didn't like that.
Oh, they pulled the John Wick thing was a little off. I kept expecting John Wick to come out of nowhere after that point, but
I kind of liked all the other anime that appeared this week over Chainsaw Man.
Other anime. Which one started? Because I'm lost. We were covering like 30 of them.
Blue Lock, doing Gundam.
Bleach.
Yeah, Bleach did start. Bleach, the first episode was really good. You're not going to be disappointed in that. That first episode was good.
Bleach is, are they going to be able to continuously hold up the visual fidelity of this first episode? Or are we going to go straight Dragon Ball Super episode 6?
Damn. That's the script. Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
He's out of line, but he's right.
Yes, I got the line. I got the line. I win the episode.
I kind of hope it does, but damn, that's gonna be
That was so specific. Like,
right.
I
was not prepared. I was not prepared for that statement.
Good job, Joe. Good job.
Thank you. It was fine. My big issue with this arc, I've already said it. I will not say it on here because that definitely spoils something in the coming episodes. But it makes me greatly dislike Ichigo as a character for later on. Moving on over to Blue Lock. Oh, what's up?
I just don't like the fact that he loses his power so quickly. Like all the time, it's the one trope. It's the one trope in Bleach that is reticent of One Piece, where the Straw Hats get split up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Let me phrase it this way. That way I can try and tiptoe around it so I don't spoil anything. He has to lose his powers to look deep within to find another power.
Well, I kind of think that was like I said, I don't want to spoil it because again,
I don't want to spoil anything.
You don't want to spoil it, but it's like I see
do
where
not
you're
like
coming
to
from.
go in this arc because of reasons.
Yeah,
not character that he portrays his character. It's something that happens it's because of the individual, not the character itself.
Actually, I can label that. That is a writer's apology.
Yeah, we'll go with that, and I will let you take that. I will let you go to that hill and start the fight.
Yeah, I will call it a writer's apology. I will die. I will defend. I will take my shield and defend on that hill. That was a writer's apology. That you know what that is.
Tell you, but your shield's going to be about the equivalent of a child shovel.
I will still rock with it. We all start somewhere. No, I will tell you what it is. It is like what Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is to the original series. It's an apology. And I can't
if it's an apology, then he won't be what he is later on down the road.
But I can't say it because if I say my reasoning why now, it will spoil everything. That's the reason why I have to summarize that.
Let's move on for Bleach before one of us slips up, because I know one of us will.
Pretty much. But
Blue Lock, fantastic. It is Kuroko's Basketball meets Mob Psycho 100 with soccer.
Damn. That's a lot.
Soccer with psychic powers.
No, not psychic powers, but like everybody is like Kuroko's Basketball, where they all got like that one hyper specific ability. But they're all strikers, but they're all like strikers in a different way in soccer.
I still got it.
And it's also Battle Royale, but for strikers.
That's not even bad. That's like what was that other anime? It was also sports related, but they kind of treat it like warfare. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Air Gear, but then again, that's really, really, really old. So
the main dude is entirely disillusioned because his team loses, and their big motto was, "It's all for the team, all for one, one for all." And this dude's like, "Yeah, if I had taken that shot, we would have won. If I hadn't passed that ball to the idiot, we would have won." It's literally all about me. And then like he gets recruited to this thing. Is like the main dude that's holding this whole thing. It's like every soccer and every sports star you will ever meet is a huge egotist. It's like you look at anybody. You go to Pele, you go to Jordan, you go to Gretzky, you go to Bird. They are all horrible egotists because they are the ones carrying the team.
You're not wrong about Jordan, but you ain't wrong. You're not wrong about Jordan, but Jordan admits it. But
well, so did Pele. He even like gives a Pele quote.
I mean, the Pele is like Pele can be argued, but Jordan, yeah, he kind of admits it.
So there's that one. Highly recommend that. Witch from Mercury, still good. She is the cinnamon roll that will absolutely kill you later on.
I don't know. The first episode was pretty good because, to summarize, Joe, you gotta tell Hellspawn, what was your summary of Gun the Witch from Mercury? Because
have you seen it yet, Demetrius?
I haven't. No.
So This is the most. This is in our rankings of disrespectful ass beatings.
Yeah, this is number 2 on the
So-
on the list.
The main character runs up on the school bully, slaps him in the ass, disrespects his mama's parenting, hides behind several of his fangirls, challenges him to a duel. The secondary plot girl tries to steal the Gundam. She gets the Gundam back. And immediately when the school bully challenges her, and I'm gonna say his equivalent to a Rickdom, which everybody calls red. I think all these kids are colorblind in this school because it's clearly purple. Her shield turns into bits and Swiss cheeses dude's unit, and then immediately he's like, "Did I win?" It's like, honey, can you send him the clip?
Yeah, I can find that part because it was good and just an ass whooping. The reason why there's a list. I meant to tell HuffSpot about this. We have a list on the show, and the list is pretty much the most disrespectful ass whoopings in anime / movies. Now, for reference, we have number 1 because number 1 to me has to be the most psychological destroying ass whooping of all time. Number 1 is John Walker in the Falcon and Winter Soldier when he goes against Dora Milaje, and this is after he takes the super serum.
Wait. This is in all of television, even in anime?
We're all across. That's the argument is the most disrespectful ass whooping. You can include anime, you can include movies, you can include television, but John Walker still is the number 1. We have yet to find another one that can dethrone it.
Number 3 is Goku and Gohan, and by that I mean letting Gohan fight Cell and giving Cell a senzu bean.
Yeah.
Okay. Any of the JoJo fights.
Anything involving Dio.
Yeah. Anything. I mean, no. I just put together an LED system that has like a little camera that points to your TV, so it reflects the colors on the back of the TV. And my lady just put the whole JoJo on, and was it Jotaro? Yeah, Jotaro just beat somebody's ass in the most disrespectful way possible because he had to stab him in the face, if you remember that part. But in any case, there's that one, and then
no, wait, I take that back. Number three is Cisco versus Q.
Cisco versus Q.
Where Q hits him and says Picard never hit me. He says,
"Oh, never appeared in DS9 again."
Right. I still think Ichigo calling an ambulance for multiple people before he starts whooping their ass is kind of disrespectful.
This is true.
That's true. I have that as 4.
Is this disrespectful, or is this him making sure his family makes rent by the end of the month? Forgetting his family business is an infirmary.
Yeah. But it's just the fact that she's timid, but still has enough nerve to hide behind somebody else after you slapped his ass. And then turns around and gets challenged. But no, I did have Ichigo. That's number 5. Because you got to be ballsy as all get out to call an ambulance in order for multiple people and then proceed to beat their ass. Detrimental, yes. Mental, I'd give it about 3.
Didn't Yusuke do some disrespectful shit too?
Yusuke's number 7. Yusuke beat the mess out of a bully, but he kind of snuck up and did it. It was kind of a roll up on sight kind of thing.
Okay.
Because to me, if you're gonna do disrespectful ass whooping, it's gotta be mentally destroying as well as physically. It's like that's why I keep using John Walker, just because if you saw him afterwards, this man was destroyed. I mean, you had him questioning everything. So that's the reason why I was sitting there saying that if it's gonna be a battle in that case, like I said, Forward them to me because we can get a panel together, and that's something I'm going to do. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. One podcast is I'm going to write that down and say, give me your top 10 most disrespectful ass whooping so we can do an official ranking. That's what I think it's going to be a podcast that's going to be coming up that we're going to do that all together on. I'm going to get everybody, including you, Hellspawn, if you're free to do that, because I want to have an actual list of the most disrespectful ass whoopings that everybody can agree on. So I think that's going to be a pretty good idea.
It's also going to be a reason why we're never going to be able to monetize this show because of too many clips.
Well, we'll go to Patreon, but we'll go to Patreon and go that route. But also, let's again before I get too lied down. So we do got to ask this question about Marvel because people are freaking out about Marvel, specifically the Blade movie, and the fact that multiple projects have been pushed back, except for Blade. Blade is currently on hold because they're waiting for a new director and a new script. Now,
which is weird because I thought they already confirmed Sam Raimi through Variety.
Oh, sorry. Correction. Sam Raimi.
No. They are saying they're looking for a new director, so I don't know what happened there.
Hang on. Let me double check that because I think no, you're right. He hasn't confirmed yet. In talks, but haven't confirmed. I have the page right in front of me. But no, Sam Raimi has yet to confirm it. That he is in talks about directing Blade, but they haven't confirmed him as director yet. But again, people are freaking out because, it's Blade, it's Mahershala Ali. We heard about the script being 90 pages that only had 2 fight scenes, and Kevin Feige didn't like any of them. So people are panicking because Blade has been moved from November 3rd of 2023 to September 6th of 2024. Other movies that have been pushed back, Deadpool 3, Fantastic Four, Avengers Secret War have all been moved as well. I have been saying this from Jump Street about Marvel. Relax. Marvel is right now making smart moves, especially about Blade. A lot of us who really consider Blade to be the godfather of the MCU, that has actually shown that a superhero movie can be profitable. And again, that's like Marvel did go under Marvel Knights for Blade movie, but still showed a successful superhero movie, which eventually did lead to the MCU. So Blade holds a very, very special place in our hearts. However, folks are losing their minds just because Marvel's pushing back dates. And I want to know from both you guys your thoughts on that. Are just people just freaking out to be freaking out, or is there really something to be concerned about?
Go ahead, Joe.
I'm fine with me. I don't know why people are messing around. The only thing that's super annoying is Ryan Reynolds and whatchamacallit, specifically set a date, and then a couple weeks later, it's already moved. No one else really gave a hard date or a hard confirmation for anything, so that was always going to be nebulous to me. But the only thing that bothers me is Deadpool is being shifted back.
But we're still getting Wolverine. I can live with that.
We don't know my thoughts on this.
Yeah, I know you do, but for me, it's Ryan Reynolds was chasing Hugh Jackman to get Wolverine since that movie that's about Wolverine that we won't talk about. That movie. Let's just say that movie exists, and that's the reason why we will just acknowledge it as that. But no,
we'll say that movie that has an excellent video game tie-in.
Yes, that's about pretty much it. But no, I'm not mad about it. Again, I'm one of those guys look, you give me a great story, I'm watching. You give me great action, I'm watching. If you need more time, cool. Nothing wrong with that. Especially with Blade. I'm Mahershala Ali will do great. He has proven himself to be a great actor, especially Cottonmouth in Luke Cage.
Who should have never died.
I love this Cottonmouth Luke Cage. What do you say, Joe?
Who should have never died.
I agree. But I'm show writer. I'm showrunner. I'm gonna leave that alone. But again, I still think he'll be a great Blade. I still hope for the MS-13 team to come out of the MCU with Blade and the Dark Knight. But I'm sorry, the Black Knight. But again, I'm not worried. It's people. I think people are so used to content now that if you're content deprived, you immediately panic.
So,
all right,
so
go ahead.
I've been on TikTok a lot lately.
Mhm.
You know, whether I'm making content or watching content, and I've come to see that people would say stuff just to say stuff. They or they're not even really paying attention to the things that they're watching. Everyone has had an issue with She-Hulk or whatever, where first they had a problem with Shang-Chi. Why was Abomination training with Wong? Like, that was something that was left open for so long, and it's been paid over 2 or 3 times over in She-Hulk. Like, you know, they have a plan.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people have short memories to the point where they've given us 13 years and 34 movies. You know, look, think about it. 13 years, 34 movies where maybe 2 to 3 of them were questionable in their quality, maybe 4. You know, multiple television shows. You know what I mean? Like, and honestly, I see the reception of Werewolf by Night, and then that being included in you know, the whole, like, you know, Midnight Sun situation. Go ahead, give Blade a little bit more time to you know, to gestate a little bit. Let's rework that story, because we see how well that part of the universe works when it's, like, you know, on its own. Because I enjoyed Werewolf by Night. You know,
it was perfect.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
My question is, does that make Blade Star-Lord, or does that make Blade Drax?
Well, Blade has a personality, so he'd be more Star-Lord than Drax.
What Blade are you talking about? Because every Blade I've seen says about 5 or 6 words.
Well, I mean, Drax is literal, though. He is the most, even in the comics, he's still the most literal person. So, can you really call Blade a Drax?
And we've already gotten a hint of what Blade's personality is going to be like from the Eternals. Right. When he showed up in that post-credit scene. He's like, are you sure you want to do that? You know what I mean? Come on. Yeah. You know, like, he's all right.
Yeah. Okay, so it's official that he's the Gamora. Got it.
But no, I mean, you're exactly right. I think people just talk to be talking, especially which I love that you brought up She-Hulk, because I did want to ask you guys about that.
Oh yeah, no, that's fantastic.
But first and foremost, She-Hulk, I have to think there's a specific group of people I have to think out there. The trolls. Thank you, trolls, for basically writing the last 5 episodes of She-Hulk, because technically, for the ammo that y'all gave the writers and the showrunner has been nothing but amazing. Yes, we are going to talk about it. So if you haven't seen She-Hulk, you might want to mute us for the next few minutes. From the idea of just Informatica being a bunch of people that just, like, I'm not hating on female superheroes. I'm just saying it's better as a guy. Or, you know, why does she have to have superpowers? Why does it always have to be a woman? I'm like, if you go back to TikTok, if you go back to Twitter, Instagram, any social media, and you can almost hear word for word everything the trolls were saying was produced in She-Hulk. And how they wrapped this up with a pretty little bow was brilliant. And I said this on my social media, it was absolutely brilliant about the season finale, but especially with so many things, the Kevin robot, the fact that she really did prove, I mean, again, for all those that don't know, Jennifer is a fourth wall break character. She is going to talk to the audience. She's always talked to the audience. So for her, for a lot of people to sit there and say, well, it just doesn't make any sense. You've never really picked up a comic, but I highly encourage you to pick up a She-Hulk comic and read. But
yes, they reveal themselves every single time they say they don't get it.
But no, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, you liked the whole fourth wall breaking thing. That's cool and all, but I wanted to know where the whole story was going to go with her blood. Like, I was invested in that, and they just dropped that altogether.
Now, that's the part where I was like, okay. I mean, I was more stuck on the part that we just watched the end of Fast 10 at the end. Like, so nobody. So I was like, I watched it today. I watched it today while I was supposed to be working, but I was watching it today, and I'm like, wait a second. So nobody's going really. I had to go. I literally went to Fast 10, went all the way to the end. I'm like, this fool is wearing the exact same shirt, the exact same white beater as Dominic Toretto. And the whole setup was Fast 10.
See, now my idea prior to seeing it yesterday morning was that this was going to lead into Captain America: New World Order because it's been confirmed that the leader is the
main villain, right? Yeah.
So my idea prior to all of this was that Intelligentsia, the leader, his big thing is intelligence, was that this was going to feed into that with the leader not being able to get Bruce's blood because Bruce is off planet. So he went to the next best source of gamma blood, going after Shield. Now, currently that was not the case this episode, but prior to that, that was what my thought was, is, okay, this is going to be the leader.
Yeah. But, I mean, I get where I'm sorry, go ahead, Elsmon.
No, I was just saying, like, the Intelligentsia in the comics is comprised of several, like, super smart villains, you know, and one of them being MODOK. Yeah. And I believe MODOK is going to be in Ant-Man. So with them telegraphing this, like, you can only assume that it was going to be a bigger thing other than what it was. And so that's where I can see the slight disappointment, which if we're being completely fair, She-Hulk spoke to women the way that Falcon and the Winter Soldier spoke to black people, and the way that Marvel, you know, Miss Marvel spoke to, you know, Indian folks. You know what I mean? So it was not made for us. It was made for them to be kind of tongue in cheek, you know, and put a thumb in our eye type shit. So I can suspend my disappointment for what but see, I can't even say I'm mad because I got what I wanted to see in that Daredevil episode. So yeah, like I saw her smash and smash.
Both walk of shame.
See, my guess is they did it in both forms during that scenario.
I feel
I'm fine with it. Just give me the shit. Just give me the content. I'm not complaining. Like, all the hemming and hawing about something that you're not even creating just bothers me, because 9 times out of 10, the people out here that's talking shit has never made anything original their entire lives.
Pretty much.
You know, so it's
Can we talk about the real topic of this episode?
What's that? Star Trek?
The hell is up with Scar? Like, this child. Apparently, even my phone is in on this because it just activated in the background like that. Like, is that a hairstyle that the barbers do on Sakaar, or what is with this child?
I don't know. I saw, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I forgot who said it. I have to. If you're watching this podcast and you said this, I apologize. I don't remember that you said it, but I'm giving you credit. That I'm not mad that the Planet Hulk storyline came to place. Now, where is it going to fall with all this? That's going to be the question as far as with Scar being around. But again, I'm still stuck on why they made Smart Hulk look like Dominic Toretto and didn't say, you know, there's always room for family. I'm surprised that line didn't.
That's going to bother me if we do get a Planet Hulk movie and it is Smart Hulk.
Yeah,
because
it doesn't.
I have Planet Hulk and World War Hulk. I don't think Kyra is going to go for the bumbling sweetheart.
No.
Did you see the size? Huh? Did you see the size difference between Abomination and Smart Hulk?
Yeah.
I was like, man.
I mean, there's a reason why Smart Hulk and Pantheon needed super big guns.
Yeah. Although Emil Blonsky, I think, you know what? This is why I love Marvel so much, because they will spin us in circles and watch us dance, only to have the person who we thought was the leader turned out to be, I just did it for money. That's all.
Like, my favorite thing on Neil Blonsky was he wasn't even a part of the Intelligentsia. He was like legit hosting what he thought was a motivational speaker party. He was just doing his like actual thing.
Abomination was grinding. That's what he was. He's like, you do this for me. He's like, these are speaking engagements. These are purely financial. I love the fact, it's purely financial. I got nothing to do with these people. But no, I love the fact that, it was so many red herrings throughout it. Now, again, the blood not going the way we thought it was. But still, it's still fun to watch. And at the same time,
I loved how she resolved it. It's like, we're doing the super soldier serum again? No, we don't need to do that again. Why does everybody in the Marvel Universe have daddy issues? At this point, this person over here has 2 dads. I also like that she name checks the X-Men just outright, like, and then like mugs to the camera and gives a thumbs up, like, where are the X-Men?
I still love that part. Where are the X-Men? We're not going to talk about that. It's like, it's the reason why I love fourth wall characters and the Kevin robot. Like I was telling Joe before we started this podcast, whoever was the writer that came up with Kevin and did not even stress. And of course, Joe pointed this out, which now I have to go back and go find out again. That apparently, if you were watching She-Hulk with subtitles, Kevin was spelled in abbreviations.
Yep.
So again,
they broke down the abbreviation or the code name for it.
Yeah, but as she was talking, I want to speak to Kevin, and then you hear the receptionist say it's like, Kevin's not available, and it literally has Kevin. I'm like, I missed it. But no, the robot Kevin was definitely good. This does make me look forward to Daredevil Born Again because she will be appearing in that. But then again, anything with Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio in it, I'm watching. As long as if they keep the Kingpin size, I don't need humongous Kingpin. His size for what he was in the Netflix series is fine. He had the anger, he had the intensity. I love the fact that he had that solemn demeanor, but when he gets pissed off, it's like that switch, and
I think we'll get that switch, but I don't think we'll get the level of violence we got from Netflix. Like, I just don't think Disney's gonna let him kill somebody with the car door anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Disney's gonna do because I had this discussion with somebody else before we move on to something else. And I wanted to ask you guys, now that I got both of y'all, do y'all think that Disney will ever give us outside of Deadpool, because Deadpool is already adult in itself? Do you think Disney will ever go more adult storytelling for some of their heroes, or will they have it separate from their Blue Sky content, or do you think they'll ever risk it?
I don't see why not. I mean, they've already started. Well, they've already allowed for the platform to have rated R content by having the parental controls on it. So
right,
that's money on the table that they've been leaving for years. And then Werewolf by Night was so gruesome. For me to sit here and think, like, is this TVMA? Like, right. I had to pause it to make sure that it wasn't. It was this TV-14. I'm like, well, shit, they getting away with a lot, because that arrow through the jugular situation. I was like, oh.
That was the 1980s TV-14.
Man thing frying somebody from the inside out.
See,
yes, several times.
That's simple stuff there. What he's talking about is like, I feel they will make it R-rated depending on what character we're doing. Like Punisher, you don't have a choice in the matter.
Pretty much. There's no PG for that.
You are intrinsically tied. It's got to be TV and MA, or it's got to be R-rated. I don't think you can get away with a PG-13 Ghost Rider. Like, they will have to be like 1980s PG-13. Like, we're talking Aliens.
Oh, you talking about the screen off, and then you hear the shot, or then you hear the slice, or then you hear whatever sound effects attached to it.
We hear the chains rattle, or we see the eyes blaze for the pen and stare, then a cutaway and a scream in an alleyway.
Yeah.
See, let me jump in real quick. The idea that they have the reason why most studios don't do R-rated movies is because it diminishes, one, rewatchability, two, how many tickets you can sell for it, because you can't buy kids tickets for it unless you're that kind of parent, whatever. So if these are factors, then Disney Plus being the outlet for more mature, adult-oriented things, especially if they're only like 53 minutes, like Werewolf by Night,
Yeah.
gives them the leeway to have a lot of like creative projects that propel the entire thing. And if we're looking at Daredevil as an example, he came from a really hard R realm. Yet the next time that we see him was in PG-13 No Way Home, and now what TV-14 She-Hulk, where he was likable, lighthearted, you know what I mean? He was adorable. Is that all of that can still transfer over to the new Disney Plus series, and he can still whoop asses in hallways, you know?
As long as there's a hallway.
You can also walk right into the office wearing the I'm not Daredevil Christmas sweater.
Although I have to agree with Hellspawn, there needs to be at least a few hallway scene fights. Because I'm sorry, that one little tease in She-Hulk, I was mad about. I said, so the first time we see Daredevil, we get a hallway fight scene. The first time we meet him, it's a hallway fight scene. Okay. But no, I mean, you're exactly right. I personally think that Disney is going to pull the trigger. I think because I was telling somebody else, I said, y'all guys forget that Marvel still has Marvel Knights, which was still more of the adult line storytelling. So if you're going to separate the brand as far as what's adult versus what's kids, you can do that. And just like Hellspawn said, I mean, you already have Deadpool on Disney Plus, and we saw how the parent-teacher council actually.
New Mutants is on there right now. It just came out this week.
There you go. Another one. That's another one. That was more what? Was that I didn't watch it. Was that more horror than action?
That was horror.
Okay, thank you. But again, it can be done. I still think, but Disney is going to be very careful about protecting their Blue Sky brand, just because it's not just movies, it's toys, it's merch, it's all the above that they're selling along with this stuff. But I still think it can be done, because I think as we start getting deeper into the well of the MCU, there's going to be certain stories that they can't be told through a kid's eyes, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. If they're going to do Ghost Rider, they're probably going to do Robbie Reyes so they don't have to deal with Mephisto, but they still have to deal with the serial killer Uncle Spirit.
Yeah. Although I would love to see Johnny Blaze and just see him actually go against Hell's Highway. That'd be interesting, because that at least had Wolverine. But
yeah, but I mean, then they're going to do Blackheart, and then everyone's like, "Oh, the son of Mephisto, when is he showing up?" It's like, he's never going to come.
Although we do hope Keanu Reeves does actually get the role. But also, I did want to cover this because this is near and dear to your heart, Joe, because we did talk about this, that it looks like it's all but wrapped up, that Mr. Han Solo, Mr. Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford will actually be taking on the role of Thunderbolt Ross in the MCU, and I'm all for it. Joe, you explained General Ross the best way possible that you knew Harrison Ford could do it. What was that again?
He's the correct amount of crotchety, vindictive old grandpa.
I mean, after Indiana Jones and Crystal Skull, I could believe that now, but I still thought that was cool. I am kind of looking forward to the Thunderbolts. I do like the current line. Thanks to Joe for that, for putting me on the current comic book line for the Thunderbolts. I do enjoy that very much. Poor Hawkeye, though. Poor Hawkeye. Hawkeye can't catch a break. Hawkeye can't catch a break on that series. But yeah.
There's something I did want to point out. Back to the Star Trek thing, because I do want to talk about Trek some on this. Okay. Mostly because that's all I prepared for. So work with me.
No, go for it.
We did get some hint that the Picard series will continue on, but it may not be Picard.
Nah.
It may transfer over to a Riker series, because Jonathan Frakes on his Twitter said maybe not entirely ending.
Oh, I want him to. I want there to be a Riker series. I do. But yes, Picard, just for those I won't spoil it, I am looking forward to the final season, just because we're finally going to get a lot. Well, yeah, we're going to get Geordi, we're going to get Michael Dorn, we're going to get Marina Sirtis, we're going to get Gates McFadden, we are going to get I'm missing
Brett Spiner again.
Data can show up anytime he likes.
No. So here's the thing, and I actually talked to a friend of mine. I won't name her because she very much likes her privacy. But we now have a running gag where it's called the Wheel of Spiner.
The Wheel of Spiner.
Where it's like the Wheel of Morality. It goes Wheel of Spiner, turn. in which role will he return?
Which role would he return?
So we have on there, we have Data,
Mhm.
we have Dr. Song, we have ancestor of Dr. Song, we have
Okay.
descendant of Dr. Song.
Okay.
That one guy, Brett Spiner, played in Night Court for no reason. Because of a picture showing
Not
his
Night Court.
dialects, we
Night
have now added middle-aged Davros
Okay.
and Lord.
I'm sorry, Night Court. That's gonna make me go look for it now.
Well, he always plays like this bum that they always bring in like cold opens for
Yeah.
this thing. It's always him.
Although I will say this, the new Enterprise F, even though it's an Odyssey class, I like it. I did not know that was a fan design. Some fan designed it in the Star Trek mobile game, and they loved it so much they made it the next ship.
Nice.
Which I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I'm used to Constitution classes, but I'll take Odyssey. But no, again, if you haven't seen Picard, you really should. I don't really want to spoil it. I will say it's worth it.
Yes, the new trailer is very good. I love that Michael Worf is now a pacifist.
Yeah.
And then immediately headbutts somebody, and it's like, I thought you were a pacifist. He is not dead.
This is, you know what, Worf was always, to me, he was like, look, he was one of those, I'm cool until you test me.
I'm cool until you test me, or a blue barrel comes at me. Then I'm completely useless.
Yeah. Although it was kind of funny, and Picard still has the greatest line. You may test that assumption at your convenience. If that is not the British version of pull up if you want to.
Oh, I heard the British version of calling someone stupid.
I don't want to know.
Son, wisdom chases you, but you always manage to outrun it.
Damn. But no. Again, Star Trek Discovery, again, also was a good series. I really did like it. I mean, this season wasn't, just to give an overall, wasn't as impactful as the second season, but it's still, I'm kind of mad because, you know, they had to introduce something. And again, I'm not trying to spoil it, but at the end, I was like, okay, y'all kind of did a camp out moment. You kind of bailed out. You should have sat there and left the Pacific part of the series alone and then turned around and be like, okay, they just got to go on without it. But the fact that they brought it back, I was like, you didn't really have to, but I guess I can understand. It's got to have a happy ending, I guess. But no, I still love Discovery. I still love Sona Green as the captain. I still look forward to her next season. Again, like I said, Lower Decks is like. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, you first, then I'll go in.
I was going to say Lower Decks is just Archer on Star Trek.
So
that is the
Lower
best
Decks,
I can put that.
This season had my favorite episode and probably my least favorite episode out of the entire series. My favorite episode was easily the Deep Space Nine because I'm a huge Deep Space Nine fan.
Aren't we all?
I have the shirt. I have the hat. At some point, I'm going to buy the $200 Blue Brick Deep Space Nine model. I don't know how big that thing is, but no, I love that episode. I like that they got the Not Visitor back and the guy that does Quark. I also like the fact that the actor for Quark went through the trouble of getting his original prosthetic teeth back to do the voice work. That's just the thing. And my sister and I have made a bizarre observation that anytime Quark's on there, they need to get him to scream.
Oh, dear God. I mean, it's a unique scream. I'll give it that much. But
and then, the following episode is usually like the worst episode I've ever seen out of the series. It's the peanut hamper episode.
I wouldn't say it was bad.
It was awful.
I mean, it's not. I mean,
see, for like the very, very end of the episode, like literally the last 2 minutes. That is easily the worst episode I've seen out of all 3 seasons.
I mean, I guess I can concede to that. I was about to say it's not as bad as Star Wars Andor, but I was kind of waiting to see. I was kind of waiting to see how Hellspawn felt about that. Before I brought that up.
Star Wars Snordor and Snore.
So hang on, Joe. I gotta ask because Hellspawn, you've seen Star Wars Andor, right?
Yes.
Okay. The next question: still interested, or have you bailed out?
I like it.
Okay.
Like okay. Listen, the first 3 episodes were its entire like introduction into the universe. It's
Right.
that movie, right?
Right.
And then that was the first 3 episodes, and then 4, 5, 6, boom, boom, boom. Like you could watch 5 and 6 together as like a movie, and it was a heist film. Like that's y'all didn't like it? I thought y'all.
Well, I'm gonna joke.
It was
Go
one
ahead,
of the 4, 5, and 6. I'm like, when are we getting to the fireworks factory? We got to the fireworks factory, and it's the equivalent of holding up one sparkler.
Look,
Like, I don't care about Mon Mothma. I don't care about her marriage.
I will say this for me. I'm still invested because I think it's gonna have an uptick somewhere. Because
this is the halfway point.
It is the halfway point, which tells me I think there's an uptick. I think they were kind of really setting the standard of Cassanian. I can never pronounce the man's name, but they were setting up the premise as far as and I was telling Joe about this on our previous podcast. I think this series is a true testament because it's the first series out of Star Wars, outside the Mandalorian, outside of Boba Fett, outside of
Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch, outside of anything that doesn't have a Jedi or Sith reference. Because for a lot of our Star Wars series, that's usually all we had. I mean, if you think about it, the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, the Old Republic, Jedi Knights, things of that nature, there's always been a story of a Sith or a Jedi. So Obi-Wan spoiled us. I mean, let's be honest. We all had our nostalgia pops with Obi-Wan. Now, I still think that's a great series. Andor was the first test to where it's like, okay, Jedi and Sith are not involved. This is literally the beginnings of a revolution before Rogue One. So it's a different story, and I think that was the big test. Now, I'm not mad about slow burns. I am okay with slow burn storytelling, but there has to be where it needs to pick up, and I think we are going to get that. But it's like I was telling Joe, I'm like, the slow burn has to pick up because eventually it is going to get to a climax point.
In one hand, I've got Rings of Power.
Uh-huh.
On the other hand, I've got Andor. Which hand has the slowest burn?
Oh, Rings of Power.
Right, but it's the most expensive television show ever created, right?
Yeah.
And we're conditioned to see how Tolkien, relays his information. Like it's a Lord of the Rings story. It's something that we're conditioned to see. Whereas Andor is the first real Star Wars property that really, besides Rogue One, to focus on the wars part. That's grounded and guerrilla warfare and espionage and all that stuff. Whereas, all of the space wizards, space Jesuses, Jesus Eye, or whatever you want to call them, excuse me. They're. It's only been one time they've been at war, and that was the Clone Wars.
Yeah. So don't get me wrong. I mean, I see what you're saying. Of course, with Rings of Power, I had to defend Rings of Power because I'm like, first off, it's Tolkien. If you understand his way of telling stories and the way it's written out, and the fact they're trying to keep with the spirit of it, yes, it is going to seem like a slow burn, but there is a point to the way that story is being told. That's why I'm like with Andor, I see what they're doing with that, because it's going to be a springboard for the Skeleton Crew. It's going to be a springboard for the Acolyte. It's going to be a springboard for the other stories that are coming down the pipe in the Star Wars universe. So don't get me wrong, I like it. But again, it's like I need to have that moment. And I think it's where we all define most series. Like most series have a certain moment. And as long as you can find said moment in the series, I think that really what attaches people to it. And I think Andor's moment is coming up. I just think that, people still have to remain invested to get to that point. If that makes sense.
My biggest issue. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
My biggest issue is I don't care about the main character because it sounds like he's asleep half the time. And there's a reason why they gave him KS2O like right off the bat in the series.
personality.
is because they know that he doesn't really have that big personality. So they gave him a gigantic, hulking, black, sassy droid
But who doesn't
to
love
off-center
droids?
him.
Well, who doesn't
Like,
love droids?
I mean, it's not like comparing Solo to Chewbacca. Those two are very much like almost one being, just split into two bodies.
Okay.
But with like this one, it's literally a very sleepy straight man and a very sassy, large, comedic, physical actor. And if you don't have that team, that act doesn't work. It's
No.
like having all of the Marx Brothers. It's like having a Marx Brothers movie, but it's just Zeppo.
Damn.
And Zeppo is the funniest one because he's the straight man in a world of chaos.
But he's carrying it.
Just him.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Like, I will probably care more and be more invested when we get KS2O. If I'm remembering the droid's designation correctly, I think I am.
Yeah, no, you are. That's right.
He was better when he worked with that little red droid in the opening of the series. But if he doesn't have anybody to play off of where he can display emotion other than hush, sleepy tone,
right,
then I don't care.
No, that's what I'm saying. It has to be an attachment somewhere with that. But I think it is going to pick up as far as where it gets, people are going to start buzzing, holy crap, do you see it? Because it's not like House of Dragons, which, holy crap. For intents and purposes, I will say this, Matt Smith, as a Targaryen, have you guys, before we kind of get to the end, have you guys seen House of the Dragon, by the way? I meant to ask that question before I went to my rant.
I'm current on that too.
Because
I'm not watching either of those because I'm not a big high fantasy person.
I mean, I have to sit here and say this like this. For simple fact of the matter is, Matt Smith as a Targaryen. I gotta ask Yellspawn. I mean, do you feel like he's kind of the hero of the show at this point?
Well, I feel like he's the most interesting character to watch because you really don't know what he's going to do next. Unless you've they've stuck pretty close to the book.
Yeah.
So seeing what is going to happen, like, I don't know, like, because that whole standoff between Aemon and Daemon, that culminates on Dragonback, at some point, and to see that exchange is awesome.
Oh yeah,
So I feel like Daemon is like the savior of the show, yes. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, there's a few side characters, and that's what Game of Thrones does well, is that they throw in side characters that you want to follow along with the main character, and everything that you invest in is paid off, unlike blood plots and whatnot.
No, you're right. And the fact, as like I said, that to me, you're exactly right. With Game of Thrones, there's always going to be those characters that just, you have the main characters. Like I said, I've always considered myself a fan of the Starks, even though Ned really should have gutted that bitch when he had a chance. But no. But with Game of Thrones, it's always going to be interesting, especially with House of Dragons. I'm looking forward to what they do next. Do you have any hope? Do you have any hope for Snow? Because there is that hope that they want to continue Jon Snow's story post the war. Is it worth actually? Do you think it's actually worth still continuing his story, considering the fact he's still going to be beyond the wall, or is it going to be like, are we kind of reaching for the stars at the moment?
Well, considering the fact that there was a breakdown to say that the prince who was promised still was retconned to a degree, or at least shored up with how Rhaenyra and Alicent went at it last week. So who's to say that what we saw in that show would not lead to something in Jon Snow's life, whereas he might not be around Snow for too much longer. If
that's true,
he can get back, and I don't know. I really don't know what the plot could be, but it would be dope to see him on Dragonback.
Oh, I don't know. No argument there. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting to see what George R. R. Martin does with the next book. I just need him to hurry up and finish. But with that being said, I think we're gonna call here because usually we have went over some hills and some valleys. So before we kind of call it in, sir, Hellspawn, again, thank you so much for being on. Certainly appreciate you being on again. Certainly appreciate you because, man, you are a journeyman, sir. I can't. Of course, for all those that don't know, this man has been traveling.
Yeah.
And I mean traveling to the point where I'm honestly surprised. Like, dude, if you go to sleep, it's gonna be a good fortnight.
Man, this has been an eventful year between San Diego and Michigan, and Philadelphia a few times, and then especially for like lightsaber training, and I've been busy. And honestly, because I can't help but to like think about how everyone that gets into cosplay and they don't do everything that they may want to do, and I'm just fortunate enough to be able to say yes to people who ask me to do things with them. So I just take it as that. I take it as like nothing that I'm owed. Everything is earned, and everything is just pretty much like either given type deal. So I appreciate the opportunities that I'm given. So even talking to y'all, because I had friends that talked about this stuff, but then they didn't talk about it with me all the time because I was always in every other like group because I was a floater in high school. So I talk about them now with my friends, but this is dope. I appreciate you inviting me on.
Oh, you are always more than welcome as a fellow anime manga watcher and potential judge on the most disrespectful ass whoopings on the top 10 of the most disrespectful ass whoopings. We might inquire upon you as a potential judge for that. So, but I'll get with you about your schedule on that one as I put that together. But no, I just, my whole thing is whether it's cosplay, whether it's producing, whether it's movies and things of that nature, I always want to be able to show people and then let them shine. And dude, you have shined brightly, man. Especially the fact that I do love the fact of what you're promoting. You're not just promoting your cosplays, you're trying to promote a culture, you're trying to promote a movement, you're trying to get people to be on the same train you are, and I am all for that. So I definitely, like I said, you're a busy dude. I usually follow your TikToks and stuff, and good God, man, I thought I put in some hours. I look lazy compared to you. I look lazy as hell compared to you.
It's just this week. It's just this week.
But again, man, thank you for your time on here. We certainly appreciate it. Is there anything that you will let people know that you're doing or will be doing or where you'll be or where they can find you?
October 29th, I am producing an X-Men video short at Baltimore Comic-Con. We one impromptu photo shoot at BlurredCon with 4 people has turned into a 47 person production.
Nice.
With storyboards and composers hitting me up from IMDb, and it's I can't wait to see. And I got some of the top tier cosplayers coming from like NYC who did like their Apocalypse and their Cable, and I got a Nimrod from Dragon Con coming. I mean, it's I can't wait to just have all of these people together just so we can just take pictures and do this production.
Nice.
There's that.
I'm sorry, I just got your list for disrespectful ass whoopings. I was like, damn, I forgot about that one. But go ahead.
Right, no. I sent that question to my fellas in my group chat and Joe. So like just off a tangent. So Joe, this one says Eisenstappen Ichigo's comeback theme. The Green Ranger jumping the MMPR crew.
Damn, I forgot about that one.
No,
wait. Do we mention that one, Joe? About
I
Green
think so.
Ranger?
I think we talked about Green Ranger.
Okay, we did. Okay, we did not. We did tag that. Okay.
The Gulf Custom taking out all of the gun tanks in the 8th MSN team, MS team.
No, I don't see that as disrespectful because they're just gun tanks.
Okay.
Okay.
Char Bazooka headshots Kaisila Zabi.
That is disrespectful.
Yeah, I'll give that one.
That is disrespectful. Yeah.
The Bride versus the Crazy 88. And then there's.
Are we on disrespectful versus revenge at that point?
I mean, the Crazy 88 all got dismembered. They all lost something. No.
Well, at that point, then they're just the Crazy 176.
Yeah, that is also true. Oh, but while I'm thinking about this Hellspawn, I know there was a documentary that you were a part of that were showing off the African gods and goddesses. I forgot the name of it already. Do you remember what that was?
It's called. It's just a generic Juneteenth into the deities of the African diaspora.
There we go. That's all I was looking for.
Okay, I can send that to you.
Yeah, because also, guys, he was a part of this project, which again, I am all for learning about history, especially cultures, different cultures. And what Hellspawn and other cosplayers did was actually do a documentary about this. And I freaking thought I had it on me, but I don't. But I'll thank you. But let me actually put that up there for this, because for all those that do not know, especially about the African deities, you definitely should look at this. I am actually going to, as soon as Xfinity allows me to. Okay, there we go. So, for all those that don't know, this was the Juneteenth, Enter the Deity of the African Diaspora. Again, talking about the African gods and goddesses that Hellspawn cosplay and others actually did a documentary on. It is actually on YouTube right now, as you can see right there. I'm putting up there for the world to see. Definitely watch it. Again, education is everything. So I highly recommend that you watch it. Because again, I've shown that to my son and showed it to my fiance and people as much as I could. I think it is very well done. I think that, like I said, passing on that type of knowledge is just awesome to me. But again, thank you, Hellspawn, for at least, sharing that, because I was like, I should have had that up when I was talking about that. But as far as that, sir, like I said, you can usually find Hellspawn. Where can they find you? Because I know where I can find you, but where can they find Hellspawn?
TikTok, Hellspawn, and then Instagram, Hellspawn_cosplay. I would say Facebook, but I've been hacked. And you've been
Zuckerberg.
I've been waiting for Meta to do its job. Like I've been in
Meta only has 30 active users. They're never going to get to you.
I swear. And the thing is, like, I actually know a Meta employee that I met at San Diego, and he's done all the escalating he's capable of doing for me.
Damn.
He said that you just have to wait, and I'm like, I don't want to start a new page, but I kind of have to with all the new shit that's happening.
Yeah.
But that my page on Facebook, you know how hard it is to get followers on Facebook?
Woo!
I got 37,000 of them, and I lost 2,500 in the first 2 weeks because whoever hacked me before was posting some of the most disgusting shit ever. And I just don't want to just give up and just give the. I mean, it's
that. Oh, but yeah, but then you gotta turn around and build back up. But I see where you're coming from on that. And like I said, when it comes to Facebook, unfortunately, Meta doesn't care. I mean, I have to agree with Joe on that one. Meta doesn't care unless you got some heavy pull somewhere. And even if you got some heavy pull, they still will turn around and just really just dog you out. But also, again, Hellspawn, I know you're not the only busy cosplayer. Of course, my co-pilot, he is busy as well. Joe, I know you have a lot of dates that you will be going to. But do you want to let people what you're doing?
I'm so tired.
He's been up because usually he's a part of the he's part of the Ghostbusters chapter here in Tennessee, and I know you guys have been everywhere as of the last couple of weeks, right?
Yeah. One quick question to D. Were you at New York Comic Con?
No, I was not.
Aaron. I was gonna ask if you saw any of the new Trek toys or not.
Mm-mm. No,
Oh God, what do we?
I'll
Oh,
go. I'll go one of these days. I'll go to Dragon Con and NYCC one of these days. But I don't. It was just so crowded. It was just so crowded.
yeah. I mean,
Dragon
Dragon Con
Con.
is just
Ooh.
Disney World, but without the rides and all the people.
I would love to go to New York Comic Con, but that New York traffic, I just no. Dragon
You
Con.
just go to Jersey and get on the train. Get on the train and get there.
I don't even want to go to Jersey.
Yeah, certain places in Jersey are fine.
See, right there. Certain places. I'm already. You said certain places. Well, you know, Joe, you go in your mafia suit, I'll go with you. Nobody will mess with you in your mafia suit.
Oh, I know people in Jersey. I know people from Transformers community.
See, right there. I know people. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
they're part of the Transformers community.
That's what you're calling it, Joe? The Transformers community?
I will break out Minosaur, so help me God.
I'm sorry, Joe. Go and finish, man.
No, we are very, very busy. Tomorrow, tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday, Nashville Symphony has Ghostbusters in concert. So me and the rest of TNGB will be out there in our ectos and costumes, and we will be there in the lobby for a meet and greet for 2 hours and be a part of the concert in some way, shape, or form, I believe. I'll be there tomorrow night. Tuesday comes out. Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed comes out on the PlayStation and whatnot. On my Twitch and on Phil's Twitch, which is capital P, capital being spelled with a K. Mine's Joe Italian last name. We're going to get a Tennessee Ghostbusters live stream and stream the game.
Nice.
For those unaware, that game is very much like Friday the 13th, or is it Dead by Daylight?
Pretty much.
Where one person is a ghost and everybody else is a buster.
Yep.
This also is possibly in continuity with Afterlife because the opening cinematic of the game was shown, and it is literally the ending of Afterlife with Winston restoring the firehouse. After that, Friday night we will not have a show because we will be seeing Black Adam. I will be with Dad Bod Cosplay as Starman because he is this is technically the only time I'll be on a correct team because most people are going to be as JSA members, and Starman was a JSA member for a hot second in the 99 relaunch. After that,
y'all are both making me look lazy. Y'all are both making me look lazy right now.
The 22nd Cosplay Collective in Tennessee Ghostbusters will be at the Special Needs Walk. And then I have to go to my high school reunion immediately after that.
Do you have to?
I mean, I already paid for the ticket, and we're going to get drinks and just sit out and chill. It's not going to be a big thing. Then following that, Tennessee Ghostbusters and Cosplay Collective on Friday the 28th will be at TriStar Centennial Medical Children's Hospital for a Halloween meet and greet with kids. And then after that, I think we're at Fiddler's Grove for Halloween with Ghostbusters, but I may have the dates wrong. I know probably there's something else. Halloween. Oh, no, wait. The following week of that, the Saturday is Music City Multicon, where we'll both be there. And
we'll both be there.
I'm going to be there in costume or not. If I'm going to be a conscious body or a husk.
Please don't be a husk. I don't want to have to finish you. Please don't be a husk.
It just means
I go straight to zombie apocalypse.
Whatever they jury rigged to keep the Street Fighter 6 going, and I'll play that.
I'll just put it that way. You come at me at a husk, I'm going by zombie apocalypse rules.
Just getting really word out.
I mean, between the two of y'all both make me look lazy. I'm like, you got Hellspawn who literally traveled the accumulus of someone going from like Nashville to New York and back in the matter of 48 hours. You've been all over the place inside of 2 weeks. I feel lazy. It's like I'm listening to you two guys. I feel lazy.
But
But
on top of my either 8 or 9 hour day of moving hospital beds all day.
see, I feel lazy. I have nothing to complain about. I just have a pregnant fiance. I have nothing to complain about.
Give it a moment.
Huh?
Give it a moment.
I'm not gonna complain. I like breathing. I have to close my eyes at some point, sir. You know the incessant fear of that when you know you pissed a woman off and you gotta close your eyes in her presence.
Yes. And on that note, I'm going to bed.
I understand, man. Thank you so much for being on. We will definitely get back with you about the next podcast that we do, especially with the judges as soon as we get all that together. But again, thank you, Hellspawn, for being on, man. I certainly appreciate it. And like I said, dude, get some rest.
I'm gonna try.
You have ran the gauntlet, man.
Let me think what else we got. Show for the 28th, Tyrell Scott from Ty's House of Cards is going to be on here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about My Hero Academia, both the show and the trading card game.
Which is I'm gonna get a wonderful lesson in, but go ahead.
Which also just got updated. We're going to be having standard coming back, meaning My Hero Academia, Street Fighter vs. Darkstalkers, Soul Calibur 6, Mortal Kombat, original property, Yu Yu Hakusho will all be legal again.
Nice.
To mix the match and make one coherent deck.
Cool. And like I said, since I've never done this before, I'm basically going to be a newbie in all this, so this is going to be fun.
This is why I gave you the 15-minute or less video.
Oh, I'm going to watch
I have a 10-minute or less video.
Oh, I got them both. I'm going to watch them, but I'm still going to be asking a whole bunch of newbie questions.
Oh, yeah, no, it's fun.
It's
a very fun card game. I've been doing it because despite what they want people to forget, this card game system originated in Tennessee over in Memphis.
Nice. I did not know that. But also, before you wrap up, Joe, again, like I said, we also do want to shout out, even though we didn't do a comics poll this week, we still want to show love to Rick's Comic City, guys. They do, especially if you're in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely check them out. They were voted #1 place for comic books, especially if you're in the Nashville, Clarksville, Fort Campbell, Kentucky area. Definitely check them out. You can also go online, as you see right there, at rickscomiccity.com. Definitely check them out because, again, they support us, so therefore we support them. We want to show them love back, but definitely check them out at any of their 3 locations. If you are unable
to... Happy birthday, Rick.
Oh, happy birthday, Rick. Definitely want to shout you out, dude. Also, if you aren't able to get to a comic book store, please check out your local library. Your local library still has the most up-to-date comics, manga, and multimedia. And even in 2022, you can still get a library card to actually read and watch to your heart's content. So definitely support your local libraries, support your local comic book stores. Just wanted to make sure we got that in. But what else, Joe, did you got going on? Oh, that look on your face is like, that's it. That is it, Will. That's all you're getting out of me. It's like that look on your face was like, that is it. That is all you're getting out of me.
I don't really know what else. I'm just waiting on Pokemon to drop and waiting on Cardfight Gear Days to drop so I can start streaming that on, because I'm going to be getting that on both Steam and Game Boy, because, I mean, that comes out like the day before Pokemon. I have no idea what that company was thinking.
I still want to order a Steam Deck just because it looks cool. And that
aren't you going to be doing like God of War real soon?
Yes. Not till November, but yes.
Let me think. Wasn't there another game that came out this month on the 20th?
Not that I know of. The only ones I know of is God of War and the next one, which would be, well, actually I don't have a PS5, so I can't play that. You know it comes out. I have a PS5 or Xbox Series X. Yeah. But while Joe's looking that up,
Dragon Ball Breakers that no one cares about.
Not to cut you off. You know, there's a following for that. There are actually some folks who are looking forward to that game. I don't know why.
I mean, you know, to each their own. Oh, right. Mario Rabbids 2 comes out. I heard that's supposed to be super duper good.
I've never played it, but
I have the first one. The first one's a lot of fun, and it's a lot better than not Starcom. That's a cartoon. XCOM. Because they don't give you percentages like that. So you don't have to tear your hair out. You either have no chance, 50% chance, or 100% chance. There's no 97% chance of hitting it, and you get roll the 3%.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
Hilariously enough, Gotham Knights comes out on the 21st.
You know-
I will not be getting that.
You know what?
Not to mention
not
they've
gonna-
already spoiled it, and if you know anything, you know what the spoiler is.
I
I'll give you
do.
a hint.
I'm not gonna lie. It's like I'm trying to avoid what do they call that. It's like when you throw out a trap, you know someone's gonna go for, and you know you shouldn't, but because they're dangling the bait in front of you, you can't resist it.
Persona 5 Royale will be on PlayStation, or will be on the Switch finally, as it should have been from Jump Street.
Oh, that reminds me. I had to go back to Breath of the Wild and try that Master Sword trick. And if it works, I'm gonna be mad.
Bayonetta 3 pops out at the end of the month.
Oh, this month? Damn, I forgot about that.
And Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
That won't be till the end of November, I think.
Nope, October 28th.
Really?
Yep.
I have got to go purchase Modern Warfare.
Resident Evil game nobody wants to play. Resident Evil Reverse.
Now I'll wait for End of Rose. I'm waiting for the DLC for Village.
That is at the end of this month.
Yeah, I'm waiting for End of Rose because first off, how dare you, Capcom? And I don't mean to go into a rant at the end of the show, but how dare you, Capcom, wait damn near 2 years to give us a DLC for Village? Village was freaking awesome. We should have a DLC a long time ago, but the fact they only give us one. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
One, it time skips a huge bit, and it also has been stated this DLC officially ends the Ethan Winters saga.
Which I'm okay with, but it's like, I mean, hell, in 7 we got what? End of Zoe, we got the hidden volume tapes, we got Not a Hero. We had like 3 DLCs with 7. And so far we've only got 1 with 8. I feel cheated.
Well, the reason it took so long is Chris had to go punch all those boulders in Africa.
Haymakers. But I'm sorry, we're getting sidetracked. But you can find Joe on YouTube channel Total Justice Gaming. And you can also find him on Twitch as well at Joe Italian last name. Definitely like, share, and let him show him some love. I am looking forward to the week after next week's card game because I am going to be asking so many questions. But definitely check him out there. Of course, for me, guys, on all my socials, BlackBox447. You can find me on just about everything except Tinder. I usually review everything that I watch and play, and sometimes do gym stuff. I got to do a couple push-ups. At the same time, guys, the link that you see at the bottom, I'm just going to make that just a wee bit bigger. If you copy and paste this link into your browser, it'll take you to the link tree that has the YouTube and Facebook posts for all the podcasts, How the Frap Got Here, Get Bit, and of course the Optimus Podcast. Definitely like, share, and subscribe. Let us guys know what you think of everything that we talked about. What you liked, what you didn't like. If there's other things out there that within the subjects we were talking about that we may have missed that you wanted to bring up, definitely talk about it and keep the conversation going. Aside from that, guys, like I said, cons are happening. I am so looking forward, as Joe said, to Music City Multicon. I am looking forward to that. But again, if you're going to be in places with a lot of human traffic, please wear a mask, protect yourself. There is still a pandemic and everything else going down. So again, protect yourself. If you feel the least bit sick, please stay at home. If you protect yourself, you protect others, and that's how we're getting through this pandemic. Like Joe said, we are off next week just because of Black Adam. We will be back on the week after next with our guest, with our next guest. And get to sit there and watch me fumble through a game I've never played before. So this is bound to be
okay. I fumbled through a game I've been playing for years. I just now found a character that works for me.
Oh, in the card game. I was like, what game are you talking about? I had to think about it for a second, like, what game are you talking about? I was like, wait a second.
Just keep in mind that in this game, Nutcracker has 2 cards spelled in 2 different ways because of Johnny Cage and Cassie Cage. Also, Liu Kang is banned.
I feel like I should make that the clip of this show.
Probably.
I feel like that should be the clip for this show on YouTube. Oh god. That being said, guys, we will definitely be off. Like I said, off next week. We will be back week after next, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel. With our next guest next week, week after next. So with that being said, I've been Will. Joey, last words for call tonight, sir.
I'm so tired.
Y'all have both been burning the midnight oil. Please get some sleep and get some rest. And everybody else, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Take care of yourselves and each other. We will all get through this. Have a good night, guys. Peace.